Told my daughter, we only pretend to love her and tolerate her because she pays rent every month, which I use to give my new husband's kids allowance money. Then told her, since she's made nothing of herself, it's my turn for a better life, and kicked her out. Now 3 years later, my husband cheated and my kids only speak to me for money, and I regret everything. I'm not sure what I'm expecting from this post. Maybe advice, maybe just somewhere to get it out, because every time I try to talk to someone about it, they either take her side or tell me I'm cruel. I don't think I'm cruel. I think I'm finally being honest after years of holding everything together and being treated like I don't matter. I'm in my early 50s. My daughter is 25. Her name's Lena. I raised her mostly on my own after her father left when she was 10. We didn't have much, but I worked hard and gave her everything I could. I went without things for years so she could have what she wanted: college, trips, clothes. I was always the one scraping by while she acted like she was owed more. She's never been grateful. Always this attitude like she's better than me, but never actually doing anything with her life to prove it. I remarried 4 years ago to my husband Graham. He has 2 kids from his previous marriage, both teenagers, and I thought marrying him would finally give me the family I never got to have. A proper home, stability, some peace. For a while, it was good. His kids were polite, the house felt lively, and I honestly believed I was building something again. Then Lena lost her job last year. She was renting with some friends, but that fell apart, and she came back home saying it would only be for a few months until she got back on her feet. I didn't want to take her in at first, but Graham said it was the right thing to do, and that family helps family. I agreed, but I told her she'd need to pay rent because we weren't running a free house, and we already had expenses with the teens. She didn't argue. She said she understood. At first it was fine. She was quiet and kept to herself. But I started noticing small things. She'd stay in her room all day, leave dishes in the sink, ignore Graham's kids completely. When I'd ask her to help with something, she'd act like I was nagging her. It got worse when she started complaining about how much rent she was paying. She said she didn't see where the money was going because the bills were the same as before she moved in. That rubbed me the wrong way because she had no idea how much things cost or how much we do to keep that household running. I'll admit something here that I didn't tell her. I wasn't putting her rent directly into bills. I used that money to give Graham's kids allowances and to take the family out sometimes. I didn't see a problem with that. They're my family now, and Lena never contributed emotionally. She acted like a tenant, not a daughter. I thought that if she was going to stay detached, then the least she could do was support the people who actually made the house feel like a home. Over time, she started picking at everything: how Graham disciplined his kids, how the house was managed, how I handled money. It became unbearable. Every day she'd have some passive comment about how she didn't feel like part of the family. I thought she was trying to make me look like the bad guy, to turn the others against me. Graham tried to keep things civil, but I could tell he was getting tired of her too. His kids avoided being around when she was home. They said she gave them looks or made them uncomfortable. The night everything blew up, she came home and asked to talk privately. She said she had been looking through her budget and wanted to know exactly what her rent covered. She said she didn't think it was fair she was paying that much just to live in one room. The way she said it, like I was some landlord trying to scam her, set me off. I've spent my entire life giving, and that's the thanks I get. I lost it. I told her everything, that her rent didn't go to bills, that we used it for things the family needed, and that we only tolerated her attitude because she was paying. I told her she was selfish, lazy, and a disappointment, that I was done watching her mope around the house pretending to be some victim when she's done nothing to make a real life for herself. I said I was finally done feeling guilty for wanting a better life for myself after everything I've sacrificed. She didn't say much back. She packed a few bags, left that night, and hasn't been back since. She sent one short message the next day, saying she'd get the rest of her stuff later and that I'd never have to pretend again. Graham said maybe I went too far, but I told him someone had to say it. Everyone always walks around Lena like she's fragile. She's 25. At some point, you stop being the kid who got left behind and start being responsible for your own life. It's been 3 months now. Graham's kids seem happier now that the tension is gone, and for the first time in years, the house feels calm. We can have dinner without someone sulking or rolling their eyes. I've read other posts on here where parents talk about cutting off their grown kids and everyone rushes to defend the kid. I don't get it. I gave Lena stability and love. She had a roof over her head, food, education, and support. She threw it back in my face because I expected her to be responsible. I'm tired of pretending I'm the villain for finally setting boundaries. Graham says I should try reaching out eventually, but I think that would just start the cycle again. She'll twist my words, play the victim, and make me look like the bad guy. I don't want that anymore. I just want to move on and focus on my real family. I'm posting here because part of me wonders if I really did something unforgivable, or if people just can't handle it when a mother finally stands her ground. I'm not perfect, but I'm tired of being made to feel like a monster for wanting better. Update 1. It's been about 6 months since my daughter Lena moved out. I honestly didn't think it would drag on this long. I figured she'd cool off, maybe text me after a few weeks once she realized how good she had it here, but she hasn't reached out once. No call, no message, nothing. She just vanished, like we never existed. After she left, things were quiet for a while. I actually felt some relief, but that didn't last long. My sister, who I haven't spoken to properly in years, suddenly reached out. Turns out Lena's been staying with her. That woman always had it out for me. She never liked Graham, said he was opportunistic and controlling. Now she's feeding all that poison into Lena's head. I can tell because ever since Lena moved in there, everyone's been giving me the cold shoulder. Family members who used to visit, who used to support me, just stopped calling. When I text them, they give short replies or don't respond at all. It's like Lena's made herself into some kind of victim. I don't even know what she's been saying, but it's clear she's twisting everything. My niece made a post online that was obviously about me, talking about parents who profit off their kids and toxic families. I didn't even respond, but it made me sick. I feel like my own child is trying to humiliate me. Meanwhile, things inside this house haven't been great either. Graham's kids have started acting out. His oldest, Hannah, has an attitude problem lately. She talks back and rolls her eyes at everything I say. I caught her sneaking out twice, and when I confronted her, she had the nerve to tell me I was no better than Lena. That hurt, because I've been the one holding everything together for this family. I clean, I cook, I pay most of the bills, and I try to make sure those kids have structure. The younger one, Kyle, used to be sweet. Now he barely talks to me. He spends most of his time in his room or at his mom's place. It's like they're all pulling away at once. Graham keeps saying I need to be more patient, but I'm tired of being patient. I'm tired of everyone acting like I'm the villain just because I said what needed to be said. What really set me off recently was finding out Lena got a job. Not just any job, apparently she's working full-time now, and my sister helped her get it. I only found out because one of Graham's friends saw her at a restaurant where she was having dinner with my sister and some co-workers. They looked happy, laughing. I don't know why that made me so angry, but it did. It felt like she was rubbing it in my face like, see, I'm doing fine without you. I tried to reach out a few weeks ago. I sent her a message saying we should clear the air, and maybe she could pay the last bit of rent she owed before leaving. I thought that was a reasonable way to start a conversation. She didn't even reply, not a word. Then a few days later, I hear from Graham's daughter that Lena told her everything about how I used her rent money to give the kids their allowance. That caused a complete explosion in this house. Hannah started yelling, saying that she didn't want stolen money. Graham tried to calm her down, but she kept saying I was manipulative and fake. I couldn't believe what I was hearing, a teenager throwing my own household finances in my face like she pays the bills here. Graham didn't say much during the fight, which hurt more than anything. He didn't defend me, just sat there with his head down. After that, everything changed. Graham's been distant. He stays up late in the living room, says he's watching TV, but I know he's avoiding me. Some nights, he sleeps in the guest room, says it's because of work stress. I don't believe that. The energy in this house is heavy. Everyone's walking on eggshells. It's like I'm being punished for telling the truth. Lena's made herself look like some saint while I'm being painted as a monster. I've spent my entire life cleaning up her messes, giving her second chances, and this is what I get. She's turned my husband's kids against me, she's turned my own family against me, and I feel like Graham's slipping away too. Update 2. It's been almost a year since I last posted. I don't even recognize my life anymore. After the argument with Graham's kids and everything that blew up, the house felt cold for months. They barely spoke to me. Graham stopped trying to mediate. We used to argue in private, but now he just walks away from me altogether. He leaves early for work, comes home late, and eats separately. It's like living with a stranger, except the silence feels worse than yelling. His kids started spending more weekends at their mother's house. I told myself it was just because they were older and wanted space, but I knew it was about me. They didn't look at me the same. The oldest stopped doing the chores I asked for, and the youngest just ignored me. The only time they acknowledged me was when they needed money for something. I'd hand it over to avoid another argument. Meanwhile, I kept hearing about Lena. Through relatives, through small talk, through people at church. Everyone wanted to tell me how great she was doing. Apparently, she got a job in marketing, was doing really well, and even started going to family gatherings again with my sister. My sister and I hadn't spoken properly since before the wedding. She's always had opinions about Graham and about me. Now she's using Lena as proof that she was right about everything. I tried to reach out a few months ago. I texted Lena a few times, nothing heavy, just checking in, saying I hoped she was doing okay. She ignored all of them. I left it alone for a while, but around the holidays I tried again. I said maybe we could start fresh. That family shouldn't stay divided over one fight. She finally replied. Short message just saying she was fine, and that she didn't think there was anything to talk about. I thought she was being dramatic, but I decided to take it as a start. In January, I told Graham I was planning to make things right. He didn't look impressed. He said he wasn't getting involved, and that I needed to think about why Lena didn't want contact instead of pretending I didn't know. That just set me off. I said I was doing what I could while everyone else sat back and judged. He said he was tired of everything always being someone else's fault. I walked away before I said something I couldn't take back. A few weeks later, Lena actually agreed to meet for coffee. I really thought it was going to be the start of making peace. I even told Graham that I'd fix things, and that maybe once she saw I was trying, everyone else would stop seeing me as the villain. I drove there early, rehearsed what I'd say. I wasn't expecting a warm reunion, but I thought maybe she'd just listen. It was awful. She came in cold from the start. She didn't hug me, didn't smile, just sat down. I tried small talk, asking about work, and she said she didn't want to talk about her personal life. I told her I wanted to start over, and that families go through worse and come out stronger. She said she wasn't interested in rebuilding anything. Then she told me she knew I was struggling financially, and maybe I should sell the house before it's too late. I don't even know how she found out. I told her she had no right to throw that in my face. She said it wasn't an insult, it was advice, and that she hoped I'd stop pretending everything was fine when it clearly wasn't. She walked out before I could even finish what I wanted to say. After that, I found out she's been in regular contact with Graham's ex-wife. I saw a picture of them together on social media through a mutual friend. I felt sick. It's like everyone's ganging up to humiliate me. Graham's ex already hates me, and now she's friends with my daughter? It's beyond disrespectful. Graham didn't say much about it, but I could tell he was done. The day after I saw that picture, we barely spoke. I told him it felt like nobody cared what I was dealing with. He just said he was tired of living in tension all the time. That was it. No fight, no emotion, just indifference. Then things got worse financially. Graham's hours got cut at work, and my hours at my job were reduced too. We started dipping into savings just to stay afloat. I tried to act like I had things under control because I didn't want to give him or anyone else the satisfaction of seeing me panic. I started selling little things online and using credit to cover bills. The house felt emptier by the day. A few months ago, both of Graham's kids moved in with their mother full-time. That was the final blow to whatever family we had left. They didn't even tell me themselves. I just came home one day and their rooms were half empty. Graham said they needed a break, that they'd visit when things settled. They never came back. The silence after they left was unbearable. I used to think I wanted peace and quiet, but it's like the house swallowed itself after they were gone. By that point, I was desperate to fix something, anything. I reached out to Lena again, tried apologizing in a long message. I told her I wanted to make amends and that life's too short for grudges. She didn't respond. After a few days, I started trying to guilt her a bit. I said family should be there for each other and that forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. Still nothing. When I realized she wasn't responding, I got angry again. I said she still owed me for that last month's rent before she left years ago. I said maybe if she hadn't run off, none of this would have happened. I shouldn't have sent that, but I did. I thought maybe she'd respond out of anger. She didn't. At that point, things were so tight financially that I started trying to figure out ways to keep us from losing the house. I told Graham I had a plan. I didn't, not really. I said I'd handle it, but I was scrambling. That's when I made the biggest mistake I've ever made. I tried to apply for a small personal loan using Lena's information. I know it was wrong. I just thought I'd pay it back quickly, no one would find out, and it would buy me time to fix things. But the bank flagged it immediately. They called her to verify, and she went straight to the fraud department. I don't know what she told them, but a few days later, I got a notice from the bank saying I was being reported for attempted identity misuse. Graham found out because the bank called the house. He was furious. He didn't yell, he just looked at me like he'd never seen me before. He packed a bag that night and said he needed time to think. He's been staying at a friend's place since then. A week later, I got a cease and desist letter from a lawyer representing Lena. I couldn't believe it. I felt humiliated. She's really trying to ruin me at this point. She didn't even try to call first or talk privately. It's all just punishment now. I'm not sure what to do now. Graham hasn't been back, the bills are stacking up, and my own daughter has me dealing with lawyers. I know people said I should take accountability, but what does that even look like when everyone's turned their back on you? Update 3. It's been 2 years. Graham officially moved out a few months ago. He said he can't handle the toxicity anymore. I didn't fight it. I didn't even ask him to stay. Part of me wanted him gone so I could finally reclaim some control, but the emptiness he left behind feels heavier than the tension ever did. After he left, I started drinking more. It started with a glass of wine at night to take the edge off, then it became 2, then a bottle a night. I wasn't functioning the same at work either. I made mistakes I never would have made before. I snapped at people, showed up late, forgot deadlines. My coworkers started keeping their distance. I could feel them whispering, watching me crumble. I told myself it didn't matter because my real family was still there, or at least that's what I thought. But by this point, Graham's kids weren't there either. They were with their mom full-time, and even when they were around for holidays, they barely spoke to me. Their polite greetings were mechanical, cold. Every interaction felt like a reminder that I had lost everything that mattered. Then came the revelation that broke me further. Graham had been cheating. Not emotionally, not just talking to someone, but physically. I found out it was with a woman from his work, someone I had invited over to dinners multiple times. Someone I thought I could trust. I had hosted her, made her feel welcome, and he had been betraying me right under my nose. I can't even explain how that felt. I wanted to scream, cry, punch something, anything. I just felt hollow. I tried to act like it didn't affect me in front of people, but it showed. It showed in the way I looked, in the way I walked, in how I spoke. The perfect step-family image I had worked so hard to maintain in front of everyone completely crumbled when Graham's kids started posting online. Pictures with captions about fake family dinners and pretending to be happy were all over social media. I was humiliated, and worst of all, I couldn't even be mad at them because I had already lost the moral high ground. Meanwhile, Lena and my sister were working together in ways I never could have imagined. Graham's ex-wife somehow got involved with them too, and together they filed for custody-related financial claims. They exposed everything that I had been using Lena's rent to fund Graham's kids' allowance, and worse, that I had even mismanaged some of Graham's child support. I felt like I was under siege from every direction. I tried to explain, tried to justify myself, but it didn't matter. The legal claims alone were enough to ruin my reputation, my finances, and what little control I thought I had left. And then it happened. I lost my job. HR got wind of the accusations and the claims, and they didn't care that I had been a good employee for years. They just saw the scandal, the financial misconduct allegations, and decided they didn't want that risk. I walked out of my office that day feeling smaller than I ever had in my life. Every achievement I had, every hour of effort, gone in a flash. Final update. It's been 3 years, and I'm living alone now, in a tiny apartment that's nowhere near the house I once had. Everything I built, my marriage, my family, my home, my reputation is gone, and the people I thought I could control are gone too, except for occasional messages from Graham's kids. And those are only when they want something, money or favors, nothing else. I don't even recognize my own life anymore. Graham married the woman he cheated with. I found out through mutual friends, and seeing pictures of their wedding online hit me like a brick. I had built a life believing I was in control, thinking my marriage and stepfamily were solid, and in one fell swoop, it all vanished. Lena, my daughter, has gone completely no contact. She moved abroad after all of this, thriving in a way I can barely admit. The house god. The house. My old home was everything. I worked so hard to keep it, to keep appearances, to maintain this idea of stability and family, and it's gone now. The bank repossessed it months ago. I didn't even know what had happened until a neighbor casually mentioned that the property had been sold. And here's the kicker. Lena bought it, anonymously. She didn't reach out, didn't tell me, didn't even acknowledge it. She rents it out now to strangers. I drive past sometimes just to see what it's like. I sit in my car, looking at what used to be mine, watching people live in the life I destroyed, and it hits me harder than I expected. It's all out there now, and I'm not part of it. I still get occasional contact from Graham's kids, but even that is shallow and transactional. They'll text me to ask for money, or to borrow something, or for a favor I can barely provide. And that's it. No emotional connection, no warmth, no acknowledgement of everything that happened between us. I see glimpses of who they could have been with a real family, and it's painful. They're adults now, but it's clear they only speak to me because it's convenient for them. And now, here I am, alone, financially ruined, estranged from everyone I cared about, watching my old life from the outside.